The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies. Oh, and if you guys are wondering why the Star Wars poster moved over there, I'm kind of rearranging my room a little bit. So excuse the giant blank space right here. I know it doesn't look really good, but I'm working with what I got right now. So it'll get better in the future, whatever. So The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies is the third and final Hobbit movie, the last Middle Earth movie ever. And you guys know I love these movies, so this has to be good, right? And yeah, this one is a really good movie, but it does have some give and take. So after the desolation of Smaug, the dwarves have reclaimed Erebor, and now there's this big battle going on for all the treasure that's in the mountain. You got the orcs, the dwarves, the elves, the men, the goblins, there's a lot of people in this thing. And the main cast that we have grown to know and love from the last couple movies, they're awesome. Martin Freeman as Bilbo, Richard Armitage as Thorin. I mean, these guys have such a great chemistry by this point. Because Bilbo has something that Thorin really wants, but Thorin doesn't know that. And Bilbo kind of wants to give it to him, but like at the same time, he knows this thing will destroy Thorin. It's like Thorin's own personal ring of power. And it's really cool seeing Thorin in this movie because he is starting to get corrupted. He reminds me of like Frodo and Bilbo in the Lord of the Rings movies. What Bilbo became, what we saw in Fellowship of the Ring, that's kind of like how Thorin is in this movie. Luke Evans as Bard, he's one of the coolest characters in this movie. He was awesome in Desolation of Smaug too. So yeah, the cast all around, they're awesome. It's great. This movie's got a tough break, because one, it has to end the Hobbit trilogy on a satisfying note, and it has to tie into the Lord of the Rings, and provide that smooth transition from the Hobbit to Fellowship of the Ring. I think for the most part, this movie does succeed on that. There's some like Easter eggs to Lord of the Rings and stuff. You watch them, you're like, oh, that's cool. I get that. I understood that reference, because I've seen Lord of the Rings, and that movie's awesome. No one complaint I have heard about the Hobbit trilogy is that Peter Jackson uses way too much CGI with these movies. And part of that is because of the whole 48 frames a second thing. If you guys watch this on the normal frame rate, 24 frames a second, it's really cool. However, there were still scenes in this movie in 24 frames a second where I was like, that's CGI. And it doesn't look good. There's this one new dwarf that you meet in the movie. He's Thorin's cousin. The dude came on the scene. I'm pretty sure his entire body was CGI because I was watching him and I was just like, it doesn't look right. Something about him is it's just off. There were a couple of special effects shots, like with Legolas and stuff, where it's like pseudo slow motion. Like Peter Jackson wasn't sure if he wanted to do the scene in slow motion or if he wanted to do it in real time. So he just did like a halfway version of it to where it doesn't look right. The people in the scene look like they're completely made out of CGI, and I hate it when that happens. So that did bum me out. Now if you guys remember the summer of 2012, before the first Hobbit movie came out, New Line Cinemas, Warner Brothers, they all came out and said the Hobbit movies were now going to become 3 movies instead of 2. That was met with a lot of mixed criticism. I, for one, was like, okay, if they can do it right, then I'm totally for it. I'm on board. They can't do it right and it becomes a cash grab, it's just going to make me upset. And after seeing the first 2 movies, I was like, you know, okay, I can see this being a trilogy. I'm super stoked for this last one. It's going to be great. Now we have this third one, and it is the shortest Middle Earth movie. It's only like it's less than 2.5 hours, actually. But now we have it. We've seen the entire thing. And now at the end of all things, do I think that the Hobbit movies need to be 3 movies? I honestly want to punch myself for saying this, but they should have been 2 movies. I feel like if you stretched like each Hobbit movie out a little bit, like maybe add 20 minutes to An Unexpected Journey, 20 minutes to Desolation of Smaug, you'd have your 2 movies. That'd be 2 long movies, but there would be 2 movies in there. They'd be great, they'd be awesome. We could watch them in companion to The Fellowship and The Lord of the Rings and all those movies. This movie just kind of felt drawn out. I did really like the movie, but this movie kind of just felt like Desolation of Smaug, the epilogue. The first scene of this movie is actually really awesome. However, and you guys know I love the cliffhanger at the end of Desolation of Smaug, it does kind of feel like they tacked the ending of Desolation of Smaug onto the beginning of this movie. So it feels like the movie actually starts after the whole Lake Town thing with Smaug. I feel like I'm really complaining about this movie, but I really did like this movie. I think you guys should all see it. I think it's a great tie-in to Lord of the Rings. Even though I am saying that this movie could have just been crammed into the last 2 movies, there is some stuff that I kind of wanted to see that I didn't get to see. Gandalf's side quest from Desolation of Smaug gets resolved in like 1 scene here. I kind of wanted to see more of that. Like Saruman, Elrond, Galadriel, I wanted to see more of what they were doing behind the scenes of the whole battle. But on the whole, it's a good movie. I'm glad it came out. It's one of those things where I don't think it needed to be made, but since it is made, I'm okay with it. It's fine. So I'm gonna give The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies a B. Definitely not as high of a grade as I wanted to give it, but it's a solid send-off to the Hobbit movies, a solid tie-in to Lord of the Rings, so there we go. And that's the last Middle Earth movie we're gonna get ever. It really is sad to think about. So, An Unexpected Journey, Desolation of Smaug, Battle of the Five Armies, Fellowship of the Ring, 2 Towers, and Return of the King. Which one's your favorite out of all of those movies? Comment down below with your answer for that, and thanks so much for watching. You guys can click the subscribe button if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys later.